Lenda Murray and my host, Alina Popa, and this episode of FEMME FLEX Friday is being brought to you by Ice Tanning and Makeup. Don't we look great? We had our makeup done. Yes, well, this is exciting. We're here on the set in Tampa, Florida, and before you, I have 2 times Miss Olympia figure, Erin Stern. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Now, I feel so incredible because I was there, Alina and I, in Tampa, and you made your debut in the Bikini Pro division. So I never thought of that as if you're retired, but just the fact that you made that transition. So I got the opportunity to ask you that, and now you get to share that with our viewers. Because I know that's the question that they want to know, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the question is why did I leave figure and switch to bikini? Or
no, or just I guess not necessarily leave it. Just the journey, your journey,
and basically the transition too.
The transition.
I mean, I'd be interested to know, why did you change from figure, which has a structure in posing and more muscularity and more definition, and then switch to bikini, which is different posing and different presentation?
Absolutely. So with the evolution of each division, I could see figure getting more muscular, and it was something for me, just having a smaller frame, and aesthetically I wasn't as drawn to figure. So I stepped away for a few years, and I always trained like I was gonna get back on stage, but I felt like I didn't quite have a place. And then I saw bikini sort of evolving. They had cap shoulders, and you could see a little bit more definition.
It was very small in the beginning, right?
It was very small, but always great balance, always great symmetry, and I just thought, it would be fun. I'm already in shape. Why don't I just do bikini? I love the structure of figure. That's something I'm still really missing and still trying to get the flow of bikini. So it's a challenge, and I think, of course, there's the saying that if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So that's the hard part for me now is of course fine-tuning the physique, but getting that flowiness on stage with still keeping everything tight and keeping everything where it's supposed to be is much harder than figure, I think.
So you find posing in bikini actually more difficult than posing for figure?
Yeah, because it's easy for me to flex, right? It's easy to make the muscles, and you have good body awareness when everything is tight, but when you're walking, you have to walk a certain way, like almost like a string is pulling you up, and keeping your hips high and not flexing the legs because they don't want to see the cuts in the legs. So it's just a very different way. And of course the adrenaline's going, and when I see the stage lights, all I want to do is flex. But you can't do it.
That would be kind of hard, Lenda, to stay on stage right now and not flex.
But you did an excellent job, because I watched you in Tampa. I watched you here in at the NYPRO. And you really, that transition, what you did as far as going into bikini, excellent job.
Thank you.
Amazing, truly. Truly.
It's getting better.
It was just really great, and it's nice to hear. It's also really nice to hear because I'm hard on people when they try to speak negatively about any division that the women are in. And, I would hear comments about bikini when bikini first came on the scene, and me being a promoter, and people would try to say, they don't train that hard, or they're not flexing. And for you to say that the posing and walking naturally and walking as if you're not posing, and then practicing not flexing your legs, and you're in heels.
It's an amazing amount of control that you have to have, and it's almost that middle ground control, whereas with figure you can flex and hold as hard as possible, and bikini you can't do that, so you have to have some restraint, and then also the flow of I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah,
and,
right.
It's
Just
hard.
look natural up there.
Yeah,
it's
it's
you
difficult.
did a great job. I know I was always surprised, like when when I first watched, and the judges would ask the bikini competitors to turn to face the curtain and do that walk. And at first I was like, why are they asking them to do the walk? And but when I learned, when you were talking about that string, that you're walking with your upper body you're walking
and keeping your hips lifted.
And keeping your hips lifted. I was like, so I started watching from the side, and I said, wow, that's interesting technique.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
So, Erin, walk us back a little bit through what have you been doing since you were on the Olympia stage last time till now in 2020?
Well, I've just been training and working, and
Because I'm sorry to interrupt. What was your last year? You competed in Olympia
in 2013.
2013.
I went to the Australian Pro in 2014. That was my last show.
Okay, 14 was, so it's 6 years.
Yeah.
What have you been doing in 6 years?
Well, I've been working out. I've been recomping. So every year or two, I'll get a DEXA scan, and I've managed to take 5 pounds off of my upper body, put it on my lower body, and drop some body fat. So the process, and I'm sure you know, the process of recomping takes a very long time. So that took probably 3 years total.
Yeah.
So I've just been working my way towards the stage, and I wanted to seamlessly enter the division. I didn't want to be known as the figure girl who is trying bikini. I want to fit that standard.
Okay.
So that's the goal.
I see. So you said you had a period of time where you really prepared for this. You're saying like what, 3 years is what?
It took a while, because you know how you'll take progress pictures and objectively you try to look at your physique and see exactly what needs to change. And with figure, of course, it's a lot of delts, it's a lot of lats, and so I had considerable amount of muscle I needed to lose. And gaining muscle is tough, but losing muscle it was one of the hardest things that I've had to do.
Yeah, and especially having mature muscle.
Yes.
You know, and that's another thing that I think about when, when bikini first started, and from a point of being an NPC, I've had bikini pros at my Norfolk show, but that was probably about 5 years after the division was introduced, and I thought it was just really interesting because at first when I thought of bikini, and I thought, well, you have to be a certain age, like that's like young face, young skin, young tush, and so as a promoter, I remember when they started to say, well, first we just had like open, and then we would have novice, we had teen, bikini, and then they started to introduce like over 35 and over 45. And I know my age, and I thought, okay, like how will a woman transition into being a bikini competitor and do the little moves and just to have that young, vibrant look? But I have been so proven wrong. And I think that the audience, the fact that you were able to just not only go from figure and have mature muscle and go into bikini, do it successfully. And I'm not just saying this to say it, to do it successfully. And they know our age, so this is hard. We told our age when I think I read something when you were 27, so people know your age. But just amazing, your body.
Thank you. And you can do it at any age, and that's why I love bodybuilding so much. Is that there are different divisions. Of course, you do have masters, but it keeps you young.
Yeah.
you know, so I that was one of the considerations when I was getting back into it, and I turned 40 this year, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying, guys. I'm not going to say it, but she's 40, and like, I got to look at your tush when you turned around. I was like,
it's the walk. It's
you
the
look
walk.
great, tight in every way.
But it's lifting, and it's also knowing how to move in that way. But it's the lifestyle. It's training and being healthy and eating clean. It does keep us young. Let's see if we can do it again.
Yeah. I know, just looking back at my past and relationships, and we talked earlier about the people that we surround ourselves with, like girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, and so when I started competing and when I won my first Olympia, second, third, I was single, and I believe when I got married, I was on my fourth Olympia. Can't quite remember. But so married for 25 years, and then I do remember having this sense as a female bodybuilder that I wanted to be married. You know, I kind of felt like, I think, like that made me normal. Even though I know I was normal, I didn't, but that was, I think also, I felt like that was something that my mom and my family and all my friends around me, okay, now I'm complete.
Yeah.
You know, I know that I'm this muscular woman, and, you know, I'm married now. But when I really look back on it, and now I'm going through a challenging time, and I've never really even revealed this to anyone. But now I'm going through a divorce and a marriage that I've been in for 25 years. And so it was something where, how can I say, I do really truly believe that if I had met my husband prior to my first win, that I would not have won the Olympia. Because the structure and the way my life changed after the marriage was one where I was really, had lost myself in him, and me trying to live two lives. And, you know, so I can look back at that, you know, I mean, so have you experienced anything where
I did.
Marriage and...
Not marriage, but
Not marriage.
It was before I got into competing, actually, and I had really low self-esteem, and so the person that I let into my life at the time was not good for me at all, and all of the little voices that you have, all of the doubts that you have in your head, if someone verbalizes those, then it's oh, it must be true.
It becomes reality. Yeah, it becomes your truth. Yeah,
it does. And I look back on that time, and I often wondered if he would have killed me, because I ended up having to go to a women's shelter to get away, filed a restraining order, and he did end up shooting the next girl that he was with. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and in that
scary.
time, it's very scary. And I had nothing. I failed at everything. I failed at business, personal, anything you could think of in life, I failed at. And fortunately, I had my parents, I had my family, but in that dark time, I was at the gym every single day. And that was the safe place. And in that hour to hour and a half, I completely forgot about the world around me. And if I didn't have the gym then, I don't know what I would have done. And that's why I say when you build physical strength, that it translates to strength of spirit, emotional strength, and it creates this shield almost.
Yes.
And so that's what I was working on, and I was pushing against something tangible every day.
Yeah.
And in conquering the tangible, the intangible stuff became easier to deal with. And so, yeah, I hit rock bottom. And I felt really sorry for myself for a long time. And I played the victim, and why is this happening to me? Why? And then one day I thought, well, if I'm at the bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up. I'm going to be the best in the world at something.
Wow.
And it took a while to do it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you dig your heels in and you make that decision that it's not happening to me, it's not the universe.
That's right.
The universe doesn't care. The universe is impartial. It's the fact of the matter was that I put myself in that situation, and that I was the only one that could get me out.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They always
The
say,
power was in your hands.
yeah. And there's a quote. It's like, if you're looking for a helping hand, it's often located at the end of your arm.
Yes.
So, and that's what it was. And so I got into bodybuilding, and it got like it saved my life.
Yeah. Wow. Great message. Great message.
Great story,
Yeah, because I mean, and that's where we, you know, I like to share with people, because they always think that a lot of times people want to play the victim, and they don't understand you can't control people, places, or things, and that all we can do is look to ourselves. And they always, you know, they look at when you've accomplished something. They only see that your life's perfect, and that you had all of these people around you that were supporting you, and yes, that eventually we get to that place and we figure it out, but it's so many women and men out there that when they hear the message, then because we are all going through something all the time, and we have a choice. You can live your life during the times of contrast and during the times in the valley. You can live in that place of what's not and feeling bad, but that's part of your life. And when we look back and as we mature, we recognize, and I can look back because I have so much past, and things that I thought would take me down, like they were the best blessings and opportunities for growth. And during times like now, I embrace, and I have times when I can laugh and enjoy my life, and I'm not going to be in a place of, you know, not a victim. I love that.
I definitely admire the fact that, you know, you went through this hard time and you found basically a solution, right, for it, which was bodybuilding and just lifting weights and focusing on yourself. And you didn't just selfishly keep it for yourself. You decided to share it with other women in the same situation and help some other human beings improve their life. So I think that this is a beautiful characteristic that you have.
I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through. So if I can help someone avoid pain and just tell them, you're beautiful, you're strong, value yourself, and surround yourself with people who value you.
Absolutely.
It's so important.
It is.
I agree with you.
It is.
And I know that you also like to share your knowledge with other people, right? I was
Absolutely.
reading a little bit about your business, right?
I always said that I wanted to be the Oprah of the fitness world, but I don't think I want to be that, because I want to be myself. But I want to make an impact, and I want to empower, educate, and enrich the lives of women through fitness, and show them that it's okay to work out, and teach them the basics, and just to get moving and build strength. And especially as we get older, it's really important to lift, you know, for overall health, not just for aesthetics. And I think what you said before about looking at someone and seeing their success on the surface and judging it at face value, and not seeing the struggles that they went through, and we all go through it, and in those valleys, in those times of struggle, it really tests you. It makes you see that, number one, you're stronger than you gave yourself credit for. But the second thing it does is it really makes you appreciate the good times.
Yes. Yes.
And I know too, like with COVID and everything that's going on, a lot of people are struggling. There's a lot of uncertainty, and the best thing that I can say is put things in your life or do things that you are certain about. And those challenges that you put in front of you, you're going to be able to solve so many other challenges. So, whether it's a home gym, water jugs, whatever it might be, just get out there and get to work, and you'll feel better.
Yes,
It's
yes.
awesome.
Well, congratulations on your transition
Thank you.
into the Bikini Pro division. And you will always be, this is what I love about it, you will always be 2-time figure Olympia champion. Thank you, Erin Stern, for joining,
Thank you,
Alina
Linda.
Popa,
Thank you, Alina.
and myself,
guys.
Lenda Murray. And we look forward to you guys joining us on another episode of FEMME FLEX Friday.